So, for someone who's missed out on the Shakti Pumps rally, you think that after this correction that we've seen, there's still a long runway as far as the fundamentals as well as the overarching theme of, the growth in the solar pump story?
Let me put a disclaimer. I mean, like I mentioned, we are invested into Shakti, so take it with a pinch of salt. This is not a recommendation to buy, but yes, from our perspective, it does remain a multi-year opportunity. Solar pumps is just one of the things that Shakti does. They've got into doing rooftop solar. They've got into doing controllers for EVs. Shakti probably is the only company in India which has gone abroad. They've done a $30 million project in Uganda, which is one of its kind of a project done, where they've actually irrigated entire villages using the solar technology. Now, that was a pilot project which they did. And mind you, this is a $30 million pilot project. The opportunity in Africa is probably 10 times bigger than what we have in India. Now, whether they can deliver, whether they can execute, and when does this opportunity opens up, probably it's anybody's guess. But theoretically, that potential does exist.
And in this space, in the solar pumps space, are there any peers? I mean,
There are.
which look exciting enough and have sort of credible managements, not very high debt, good businesses.
There are a couple of other companies which have got listed over the last few years, and each one of them will do equally well. Because if you think of the market opportunity, we're talking of 2.5 lakh crore just for replacement of the existing diesel pumps. Forget the new connections that we're talking about. I mean, if you add up all together, probably it's a 5 lakh crore opportunity. It's not practical for any one company to cater to this kind of a market opportunity. So there are a lot of companies which are there, and my sense is that probably everybody will have their due share in the whole thing.
Got it. So once you've identified a sector, say solar pumps, right, which we're talking about, and you identify some companies, what are the red flags to look for to eliminate the ones that should not be in your portfolio?
There are lots. In fact, especially if you want to invest into microcaps, there are more red flags. In fact, our rejection rates are close to about 90%. So in the last 13 years, we would have met maybe about 650 companies, and all put together, we've invested in only 42 companies. So that's the kind of rejection rates that we have. See, I mean, all of us know that microcaps are plagued with all kinds of corporate governance, market manipulations, pump and dump. That's what we keep hearing about. If you go through good 3, 4, 5 years of balance sheets of these companies, you'll probably be able to pick enough and more holes. And there are glaring holes in the balance sheets.
Like what?
I mean, for example, we were looking at one of the businesses, and the promoter was talking of very fast, massive expansions. Now, when you are doing this kind of expansions, it's as logical as what one can get that your electricity cost has to go up. We just tied up their electricity cost with the expansion, and we realized that it did not show up any growth. It's just impractical for anybody to do expansion without his electricity cost going up. And that itself was a red flag. There are a lot of red flags in working capital. So, like I said, we understand cash flows and cash profits, not the reported profits. There are enough and more businesses which end up reporting large profits. But when you look at their operating cash flows, there's barely anything to look at. Forget 1 year. Even if you look at their 2 years, 3 years, and probably you will not find anything coming out from the operating cash flows.
So you're saying operating cash flow has to be positive 2-3. Look at the last 2-3 years, and if there's like dwindling operating cash flow, then there's a problem.
There is definitely a problem, because then somebody's just reporting book profits, right? We have gone to the extent of some businesses that we were looking at, and this was supposed to be high-tech businesses. Promoter claimed that he has some 30 odd patents across multiple countries. We scanned through their 5-6 years of annual reports. There was barely any legal cost. There was barely any R&D cost. Now it beats me that, how does anybody have 30 patents without incurring any legal cost? Unless you are going to some obscure, Ethiopian country and taking a patent or something similar to that, right? Which probably is not even worth it. So The stories may sound very alluring, but when you get into the details where the stories are coming from and why, that's where you find, like they say, the devil is in the details.
Absolutely. And more so in these microcaps, right? Because
Absolutely,
there's not
absolutely.
as much information available to shareholders as much as in the large caps. And it's not as researched also.
Yes, it's not as research, so that makes more effort on somebody's end to do, because you have to go through these annual reports, see through the transcripts if they are doing IR. So we are not in that segment where we are buying in sub 500 crore companies. So we essentially look to buy between 1,000 to 5,000 crore market cap companies. There, the level of disclosures are fairly reasonable, and most of these have an IR function. So it's much more easier to get access to these managements, understand, talk to them, shop floor visits. I mean, you will be surprised. We have been at a lot of shop floors where the team has probably just come in 1 year back. Now, if a promoter is talking of scaling up from 100 to 500 over the next 3-4 years, and the team is relatively so young, it beats me that how the team will end up delivering, because it takes time for the team to sink in, give them the space and freedom to deliver what they have to deliver. Sometimes you end up seeing plants which are like really age old plants, completely depreciated probably, and I don't know for how long they can continue that ways. The level of automation which is there on the plant, these are finer nuances which tells you the execution capabilities of the businesses that you're investing into.
Okay, so just to close this, discussion on solar pumps, you said this is a space where there's huge opportunity and lots of work is being done in India, especially with private players, and now the government also, increasing its focus on solar pumps and solar energy in general, right? You want to just help us with some names, or you want to stay away from the other guys that interest you in this space? And of course, standard disclaimers that these are not recommendations, but just to understand.
There are quite a few companies. I mean, Crompton Greaves has got into it. You have Oswald Pumps, which is another leading player into this thing. There's a small company called GK Energy. So there's a lot of enough and more players now in the system who are working in the same space and segment.
Okay, great.